Hello, my name is Greg Zumach, IV Futures, and I'm here from Northside Bound to give you the latest breakdown on our upcoming MLB Mock Draft. This is the final mock draft of the 2022 year, right before the draft. We're coming right up to it. Information starting to trickle out on different teams and who they might be zeroing in on. But really, the biggest question is, what are the Baltimore Orioles going to do at 1-1? Truth be told, no one knows, maybe not even the individuals within the Baltimore front office. But that pick is going to dictate a lot of future selections after that, and so we'll kind of dive into it. As you'll see in the upcoming mock, I don't know if it's considered going chalk or almost even a little bit trendy to actually say that the Baltimore Orioles will mock them to Drew Jones, center fielder down in Georgia, high school player, widely considered to be the best player in the draft, though not a generational superstar. Baltimore, in their history, and Mike Elias, who runs the Orioles, who used to be with the Astros, they've had 1-1, 1-2 picks before, and it's kind of a mixed bag. From taking the consensus number one overall pick in 2019 with Adley Rutschman to all the way back in 2012 when they landed Carlos Correa, considered to be about the 6th or 7th best player in the draft, and possibly ticketed to go to the Cubs, popped him at 1-1, took a big savings, and then used that savings throughout the draft. That would be a pretty viable strategy here. The problem is there that player that really gives the cost savings to Baltimore and still provides them the rest of the money down the line? Hard to say. Baltimore still has a ton of money to play with in this draft. So at this point, with no clear front runner, though Tumar Johnson and Cam Collier also do make sense here, I'm going to just say that they take Drew Jones. After that, round picks 2 through 5 end up being kind of a mixed bag where a bunch of different players could go in a bunch of different directions. And so I definitely see players like Jackson Holliday, Cam Collier, and even Kevin Parada go in this range here. What I think will be very fun, and I'll leave this surprise for the for the upcoming mock when you check it out in print. But I do have the Miami Marlins going a particularly different direction here. I'm not sure if this is reported elsewhere, but I think that they might be in on we'll just say a different prep player at that pick, and I think it'll be kind of fun. There's something going on with the Marlins, and they just lost their scouting director or moved on from their scouting director recently. So I think there's a lot of interesting stuff probably behind the scenes that we may not find out about. But at the end of the day, I think they go a different route at pick 6, and that will also ultimately leave a few interesting players for the Cubs at pick 7. Now, I'll just spoil it right off the bat. Cam Collier won't be there. I do think that he'd really interest the club if he was. But there are a few other bats in that range that could really be intriguing. Maybe even an arm in Connor Prelip. I think that those are viable strategies, and the Cubs may explore all options. The chatter around the team has been, look, like they're going to be opportunistic. They're going to be reading the board as it comes along and make a play based on who's available. It's the best strategy. Going in and knowing this is our guy no matter what is going to be very tricky in this draft. So I think it could be fun. Other fun picks down the line here. I think Eric Brown isn't being talked about enough. The Coastal Carolina shortstop, yeah, he's got funky mechanics, but man, does he hit the ball so well. Contact, power, really everything. He's incredibly underrated, and I think we're going to be looking back at this draft going like, how did he end up there? All the way down there. I still think he's a first rounder, though. And I do think the team that I've got him linked to towards the back half of the first round makes a ton of sense. And I've heard some chatter that they do really like him. Hard to know about that. You only need one scout to be like, oh, yeah. To kind of throw things off. But I think that that's a really good option there. Atlanta's trade with the Kansas City Royals to pick up pick 35 has really shaken up that area of the draft. All of a sudden, the Atlanta Braves have picked up $2.2 million in slot-saving money for their bonus pool. They could use that in a variety of ways. The early thoughts, and just kind of bouncing this around to different people, is they may be trying to buy somebody down from higher up in the draft down to pick 20. And so I think that there's a couple good players that really make sense in there. Somebody that if you add their funds to what they already had to that pick, puts them in about the $5 million range. You can take a player that's considered about a top 10 talent, buy them down to pick 20, and still pick up a pretty solid player at pick 35 while not really touching any part of the rest of your draft. It's an intriguing strategy and one I think may play out Sunday night. So that's all the teases there. The MLB mock draft will be out. Go ahead and check it out at northsidebound.com. Make sure to check out all the draft content there and look forward to a live draft show this Sunday, July 17th, 7 p.m. Central Time, so 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where we will run the whole crew of the Northside Bound group, myself, Greg Zumach, Todd Johnson, Jimmy Nelligan, and Greg Huss, along with a couple guests that I'm pretty excited to share about. We'll be going through at least about the first 10 picks of that draft. And we'll be talking certainly a lot of Cubs and a lot of national stuff as well. Giveaways, content, guests, you really can't beat it. So with that, enjoy draft week. We'll see you Sunday and enjoy that MLB mock draft out very soon to northsidebound.com.